How much control do we have over our lives? That's a big question. How much control is prudent to try to exert, and how much is a waste of effort? How much leads to positive effects in our life, and how much leads to a fear of the future or guilt of the past? How much leads to an opening up of potential for the future in trying to control the things perhaps we can control, and how much closes down our opportunities and gets in the way of life. This is a personal perspective, and I'll give a little bit of an insight perhaps into what's happened to me and how I have let go of control. Or perhaps have come to realize I never had control in the first place. This is the through me perspective, of course. The surrender consciousness. That is a leap of faith, letting go of control. But again, I would argue that there is nothing here that can let go of control. It's just seen that the idea that I had control in the first place was illusionary. So really there's nothing for me to do. There never was. This is the delicate dance that we've discussed before about balancing being and doing. I would argue being necessarily comes first. To give a practical example, if someone had told me 10 years ago that I would write a book, publish it, and that the majority of my income would come through people who have read the book contacting me and paying me for personal guidance sessions once a week, I would have laughed. I would have called them mad. How preposterous. I could not have set myself that goal. I could not have controlled the events within that last 10 years to get to where I am now. If I look back previously to those 10 years, my life was filled with the sense that I either was in control or needed to take control. And there's echoes of that still within me, I have to admit. But more and more, I am resting in the fact that there is just what is happening, and that includes what I'm doing, that is happening through me. And then life is a lot simpler, and the actions that result from that perspective, that way of being, seem very fruitful. I'm in a very good place. Are there things that I would wish to change, that I wish were different? Of course there are. Are there challenges and difficulties? Yes. Are there things that I could focus on that would give me serious room for concern? Yes. But those things are what they are, and I let go of the control over my stressful or anxious producing thoughts, because they're there in the background waiting to take hold. I let them go, and then I am opening up to the present moment and the potential that is waiting to unfold through me. It's not an achievement that I can be proud of course. That's back into the egoic self, the idea of me, my story, the fact that I am responsible not only for all the things that I'm getting wrong, but also for all the things that I'm getting right. Both disappear. because that idea that you have to take control or are in control can create a restricted and fearful way of seeing the world, and you don't benefit from that, and neither do the people around you. So you let go and you allow the flow of life through you, through surrender consciousness, not knowing, of course, what you're surrendering to, because how can you know that? That is the mystery. And so in that sense, it's a leap of faith. It's not a belief in something else. We've been added to all our lives. We've been given things to believe in since forever. So this isn't a belief in something. It is a faith in no thing. It's a letting go. It's a recognition that life is the mystery. And so there isn't freedom for the person. There is only freedom from the person. And that's scary for the person. But more and more, I am allowing myself to surrender to the mystery of life, and perhaps this has been happening over a decade or so. In linear time, we can talk in time frames. And in that letting go, I wrote a book, and when I was writing that book, I had no idea, how could I, of what would happen. Nor was I writing it from a position of wanting something, to gain something. I was just writing for the pure joy of writing. And in those words, I did give up to the mystery of life, and I believe that it expresses itself through those words. There's a balance there between me doing something and the beingness innate in all of us manifesting through me onto the page in the form of words. And I wanted to create something that was as close to the truth of my being as I could possibly see. I didn't want to give anything that would add to people. I wanted to try and point to the illusion of self and allow then the recognition of that falsehood to be enough to perhaps kickstart or spark the journey within to the mystery. And so the book is now out there on Amazon, No Path to Enlightenment. The I before I am, exposing the illusion of yourself. And my client base now has shifted from pure counselling and psychotherapy, although I still work in that area, to, for want of a better word, people who are seekers, people who have decided to turn the spotlight away from the external world to look for answers within themselves. Self-enquiry, the journey within. And they then contact me through the book and see if there is an opportunity to work with me. And that is how my life is unfolding. I have 2 other jobs that I work with students as a mental health mentor, and I have a couple of days at a university doing a slightly different role completely, but that is a sort of a portfolio of work. But the majority of my income now is coming from people who connect with me on a global scale, mainly in the United States, Canada, Alaska, North Africa, Europe. And it's an absolute joy and a privilege, and there is a meaning and a purpose in this work and in meeting these amazing people that enriches and nourishes me, and I can talk about these ideas on a one-to-one basis and in an interactive two-way discussion, and it's just an absolute joy. Now, this is where I am, and I did not set out a goal to be in this position, and I certainly didn't control the situation to manufacture this outcome. This is an example I would hope could be a blueprint for others to first and foremost turn away from the external world of form and go within and find out the I before I am, and allow the mystery of life to manifest through you, and then your innate talents, creativity can be given a life of its own. You can breathe, and you can be free from the constriction of the illusionary self that believes that control is the key to happiness and joy, when it is not. It is actually locking you into the prison of yourself. If you enjoy the content, leave a thumbs up. You can comment or ask any questions below. And if you haven't already done so, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.